Bonjour guys, it's George, it's Shredded Every Day, and today is part 2 of our 2-part series answering your frequently asked questions regarding workouts. There's been so many questions I've had to put it into 2 parts. I've done a load of questions already in part 1 and this is part 2, so let's get into the rest of those questions. There's some pretty good ones in there. Should I do my cardio and lifting in the same session or separate sessions? Well, when you do your training, it's important to do it consistently. So whatever can fit into your program, really. Ideally, you want to do cardio and weight training on separate sessions throughout the day. So maybe you do your workouts in the morning and do your cardio in the evening, or vice versa, whatever works. The problem is if you do your weight training and then your cardio straight after, you're going to be tired for your cardio and you're not going to be able to have the maximum effect of cardio. If you do cardio before weights, by the time you get to weights, you're going to be too tired to do the lifting and you're not going to get the amount of reps and the power and the results you want to get out of your workout. So one before the other is going to affect the other. So if you can have a nice time gap in between, then that's ideal. If you can't do that, then you can just simply put them next to each other. Ideally, remember the workout with the weights is going to have priority, so do the cardio afterwards and have the most energy for your weight training. There's other benefits of splitting cardio and weights as well. One would be getting a good meal after your weight session is going to be really good for recovery. 2, you're going to have a double boost of your metabolism because you're going to get a high metabolism at the beginning of the day and then again another boost at the end of the day, which is good. So have one just a big one that doesn't last as long. And the third one is there's some benefit to doing that fasted cardio in the morning, which is a bit controversial. I'll do another video on that and the possible benefits that it may have another time. How often should I train? As a beginner, I'd recommend doing 3 days a week, just like that program I talked about, having workout day, rest day, workout day, rest day, workout day, and 2 rest days. From moderate or an intermediate skilled person, go for maybe 2 workouts and then a rest, and 2 workouts and a rest, so do say 4 days a week. And if you're getting towards the advanced stage, you can go for 5 days a week. Just make sure you're smart with picking rest days as needed and arranging your workouts like I talked about in the previous video to make sure that there isn't too much muscle interference, preventing recovery for each muscle group. How many sets should I do? There's a lot of debate over this. Some experts think you should just do 1 set to complete failure to trigger it. Other people think you need to do loads and loads of multiple sets. If you look at all of it, it's basically 3 sets per exercise is the basic one. For compound exercises at the beginning, you could do 2 warm-up sets and then the 3 major work sets, which I talked about in the warm-up video. For advanced people, for the large muscle groups, you want to do around 12 sets as an entire workout. So if you split that into 3 sets per exercise, you've got about 4 or so exercises per muscle group. So the large muscle groups, things like your chest and your back, legs, things like that. Small muscle groups like say your shoulders, your arms, your calves, your abs, have say 6 to 9 sets, so about 3 exercises of 3 sets each. If you're an intermediate or a beginner, maybe drop that down 2 or 3 sets per muscle at the beginning, just to allow you to build up. How many reps should I do? Here's a really good one because there's no real correct answer really. Depends what you're going for. If you're going for strength, you want to be going for about the 3 to 6 rep range, or you can even go for some 1 rep maxes, and that's going to really help develop your power and your strength. Because you're really using some heavy weights there and you're failing on the 6th rep. If you want to go for muscle hypertrophy, then you're going for around 8 to 12 reps because that's the one that will really have time under tension, like from the reps video I've done, and it really has maximum stimulation of the muscle while also conditioning it and building strength, which will help overall size. If you're going to help build your aerobic conditioning and endurance of the muscle, the ability to get the lactic acid out, get the oxygen in, get the CO2 out, and get everything replenished and ready to go again, then you want to go for 15 reps plus. And some muscles like the abs and the calves can always go for say 15 reps. You don't want to do like low 3 reps because strength isn't really a big thing for those muscles. It's more about the conditioning and the overall size. They're the rep ranges you can choose, but you can always switch between back and forth. You know, like sometimes you want to go for strength and you want to go for conditioning. So for me, I'll do my muscle building cardio where I'll have one workout where I'll just do high reps to help build the aerobic conditioning, and then in my heavy sets, my heavy workouts, I'll do a couple of compound exercises where a few sets I'll go super heavy to build the strength, and then for the rest of the workout I'll go for hypertrophy. So there's benefits to all of them, and you should incorporate all of the rep ranges. Will high reps help burn more fat? Well, that's just a big fat myth right there. In fact, quite the opposite is true, because if you do high reps and low weight, you're not really burning calories, and the fat burning effect isn't really that strong. The heavier you go and the more intense it is with the heavier weights, that's going to help build that EPOC, that post energy consumption or post-oxygen consumption effect, the afterburn effect, where you're burning calories after your exercise. So you want a rep range which is going to be intense, which is going to get you really, really working hard. How many exercises should I do? Again, we've talked about this before. For a beginner, you want to do 1 exercise per muscle, so a full body workout. Intermediates, you want to do 2 exercises per muscle group, so a nice 2-day split. For the advanced, do 3, or really advanced, do 4 or 5 exercises per muscle group, and so it all depends on those splits. How long should I rest between sets? As a general guideline, it's 1 minute, but you can do slightly longer, say 90 to 120 seconds, a couple of minutes for the really heavy compound exercises to allow you to get all that lactic acid out, get the oxygen, get your muscles ready for another one, so you can go heavy for like legs and back and things like that. But at the same time, if you want to go for decreasing your body fat and keep the intensity up and make it a kind of cardio, you can decrease your intervals to as little as 20 to 45 seconds. And that will keep your heart rate up, really help build some interval training into it. You won't be able to lift as much, so your strength may decrease slightly, but you will get a massive fat burn effect. So maybe incorporate a bit of that, try it out, and go back and forth. How quickly should I raise or lower the weight? That's all about the rep tempo video that I talked about. The general guideline is to have about 2 to 3 seconds up, concentric, lifting the weight, and 3 to 4 seconds lowering or relaxing the weight. For the eccentric. Remember, the eccentric, the lowering the weight, the lengthening of the muscle is going to cause all those tear as the muscle extends. All those micro tears are going to slowly, they're healthy tears, healthy tearing in the muscle, bringing it apart, and then the repair is going to elongate the muscle and make it grow and repair in the recovery. So it's the eccentric portion you want to emphasize in terms of how long it takes. And then there's benefits of pausing at the top, pausing at the bottom. There's also benefits of going fast up and fast down if you want to go for power. Have a look at the rep tempo video if you want more on that. When should I increase the weight? Again, that's the overload video that I've done. Basically, if you're going for that hypertrophy, when you get to 12 reps, step it up 5% in terms of weight, and then your reps will drop, but you're going up in weight and just keep stepping it up every time to get to 12. And if it gets comfortable, time to go up more and start pushing yourself again, get outside your new comfort zone. How hard should I train? Should I train to failure? Basically, yes. How hard you train is referred to as intensity. And if you selected the right weight, you will reach a point where you really can't do another rep. And that point is known as failure. You know, I want to fail at the 12th rep, meaning you can't do another rep of good form at that rep. And I believe in training with high intensity, and that means often training to failure or just short of failure to make sure that you have good form, because it's really the key to triggering muscle growth and giving your body a reason to build muscle. Really showing it as, we really need to get bigger here, guys, because this guy is not coping with whatever he's trying to do. What order should I do my exercises in? The basic one is go for your compound stuff first, the big exercises, so your major muscle groups like chest, back, or anything that you think needs most work. So if you're lagging in a particular muscle, or area of the muscle, go for that first. So if you're lagging in your upper chest area, do incline presses first as opposed to do flat bench. So it depends on the priorities, and then depends on the what you want to give more emphasis on in terms of the size. You don't want to be, say, doing arms first and then going into a chest exercise, because your arms are going to be tired. They're a secondary muscle needed for chest. How long should I stay with the same workout program? You should change your routine the minute it stops working. Whether it's 3 weeks or 3 months, you know. So your goal is it should be noticeable, visible results on a weekly basis. Should you stop seeing results, it's time to change things up. If you get bored or lack of motivation, it's time to change things up. You don't need to change the entire routine, you just need to change the stimulus. So you could do things like just changing your rep tempo, change the rep range, change the sets, change the order of exercises. You don't actually have to change the actual exercises themselves. You could even just change the way you lift it, as in the positioning of your arms and the angle of your benches and things like that. Just change things up and allow your muscles to be stimulated from a new angle and new approach. Should I train my abs every day to lose fat? Training your abs every day doesn't lose fat. In fact, abdominal training has nothing to do with fat loss. Remember, it's calories in, calories out. Fat loss comes from your nutrition and your cardio creating the calorie deficit. And it's really possible that you can actually have a great set of abs already, but you're just having it all covered by fat. So abs are built in the kitchen, guys. So get on that MyFitnessPal, and that's where you should do it. In terms of the training though, every day, if you do it with decent intensity, every day might be a little much, maybe every other day. It depends on how hard you go. For me, I just do them 10 minutes at the end of every workout, or if I do calves intermediate with that. Do I have to warm up or stretch before I lift? Definitely need to warm up. Maybe not stretching. I would never recommend stretching cold muscles, but try the dynamic warm up that I showed you in a previous video. What days of the week should I train? Whatever day works for you. You know, it depends on your own workout, your own work life, your personal life, whatever works for you. But just maybe try and avoid peak times in the gym, like Monday at 5 o'clock, because that's going to be pretty busy and it's going to make it difficult to get a machine or any equipment that you need. That's basically it, guys. There's a lot of questions there, but I've had a lot of questions throughout them and a lot of people asking the same questions, so hopefully that clears a few things up. And if you have any further questions from what I've said today, just give me a message on Facebook and I'll do my best to answer it as quick as I can. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow for another video. Have a great day.